The little rabbit borrows land from the big bear. The big bear had a large and fertile piece of land, but he never farmed it and just left it barren. One day, the little rabbit politely went to the big bear and asked, "Mr. Bear, could you lend me this piece of land to grow food? I have many little rabbits at home, and they all need to eat." The big bear rubbed his belly, thought for a moment, and said, "I can lend you the land, but you must give me half of the harvest." He was secretly calculating in his heart, "How great! I don't have to work, but I can still get half for free." The little rabbit blinked and replied, "All right, then I'll give you the top half." So the rabbit's family happily began farming. They plowed, sowed seeds, watered the fields, and worked every day until sunset. A few months later, the potatoes were ready. The little rabbit invited the bear to come take his half. The big bear, excited, carried a large basket to the field, only to discover that the little rabbit had planted potatoes, which all grew underground. On the surface, there were only leaves. In the end, the bear didn't get a single potato and had to return home disappointed. Sometime later, the little rabbit came again to borrow the land. This time, the big bear angrily said, "Last time you tricked me. This time I want the bottom half." The little rabbit nodded and said, "All right, this time the bottom half will all be yours." So the little rabbit planted wheat. The golden ears of wheat grew at the top, while underground there were only roots. After harvesting, the little rabbit took all the wheat, while the bear only got a pile of stalks, things he couldn't eat. He pushed his empty cart home, furious and regretful. This time the bear shouted, "From now on, no matter what you plant, I want both the top and the bottom, or I won't lend you the land." The little rabbit looked troubled. If the bear took everything, what would his family eat? After thinking, he said, "Then can I at least keep the middle part?" The bear secretly laughed to himself. "The middle part is only stalks, silly rabbit." So he quickly agreed. But this time, the big bear secretly watched every day to see what the little rabbit was planting. When he saw tall corn growing in the field and realized that the corn cobs all grew in the middle, he was dumbfounded. The little rabbit had planted corn. Finally, the big bear understood that by always trying to take advantage, he ended up with nothing at all. The next morning, when he opened his door, he found a large basket of golden corn placed outside along with a note. "Dear Mr. Bear, thank you for lending us your land so that our family could have enough to eat. Please accept this gift. Little Rabbit." The big bear looked at the corn and felt warmth in his heart. When he lifted his head, the sunlight seemed especially bright and warm that day. From then on, the big bear also learned to share and to work. He often farmed the big field together with the little rabbit's family. Children, this story tells us that trying to gain without working is wrong. True friends and good neighbors should help one another instead of only seeking to take advantage. The little rabbit used his cleverness to teach the greedy bear a lesson, showing us that when we encounter unfair situations, we can use wisdom and intelligence to solve problems, instead of confronting them head-on.